Hi guys, welcome to Dragonfly Projects. Thank you for joining us today. About a year ago we purchased a large rural property. I've always been more of a city boy, so join us on this new and exciting adventure as we try to start our homestead. I, for the most part, have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to figure out together. About a week ago, a large storm came around our region and brought with it Hurricane 1 level winds, which is very unheard of. We were without hydro for about a week. Many trees and lots of damage to the property. So let's walk around and I'll show you what kind of damages the storm brought. So our property has a lot of white pines, red pines, Scotch pines, and red maples, and a lot of aspens and silver birch. Silver birch, I've come to find out, is more of a weed. Basically, if you cut down something or you leave a field unattended, silver birch will invade and grow as they thrive in that environment with a lot of sun. The downside is it's very weak and there's a fungus that tends to kill it, and then it just falls in the strong winds, making it a bit more of a nuisance. Our biggest trees by far are the white pines. We can see an example here of a nice white pine. The thing with white pines as they grow is if the top part gets attacked by a bug when it's young, usually as soon as the top head, I'm sorry for the non-very sophisticated terms, but when the top part gets attacked, it forks. And then another part becomes the top part and the main trunk, and every time it forks again. So it makes them for some pretty funky trees. But at the same time, makes it very weak and very susceptible to high winds. This was one of our biggest white pines, and unfortunately, as you can see, a lot of the branches came down with the wind. Here's another white pine that lost the top of its head. A lot of them got uprooted by the winds. You can see one in the background over there. So crazy winds, upwards of 120 kilometers per hour. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how much that is in miles per hour, but it's quite crazy. These trees are beautiful, but inherently they are weak because of their structure. They have many joints, and they're susceptible to wind damage. Let's go check more stuff out. Here's another white pine. Nice and tall and very funky looking, which is awesome, but as you can see, this part broke off from one of the top sections, and this member here basically tore off the actual tree. And just to give you a sense of the size, this thing's huge. This trunk is the size of a tree all by itself. So we're very fortunate that nothing fell on the house or any of the sheds. But it's very unfortunate that a lot of the white pines broke either in half or lost large limbs. The aspens, which we can see a good example over there, it's leaning over here. Those guys either broke near the base or completely got uprooted. We live in a very sandy soil, so the roots don't tend to go down very far. They tend to go wide to try and capture as much moisture and as much water as they can, because they can't go deep because the water just drains away. So it makes them a lot weaker. So all of our aspens pretty much broke or got uprooted, and I would say 90% of our white pines unfortunately suffered major damage. Here are those white pines that suffered damage. More of the white pines where the tops broke off, unfortunately, and just a massive crater left by that white pine that was uprooted. It's gonna make for a long cleanup, but that's gonna be a lot of firewood. Damage in some sections of the forest is so intense that I can't even tell where my trails are anymore. The forest is separated in kind of sections. So we have a section that's mostly red maples. This section here is mostly red maple, which is the section I use in that making maple syrup video. which is very, very cool because that's delicious. There's a section that's mostly white pines, which I had the intention of cutting a couple down because the forest floor was not getting enough sunlight anymore. But let's go check it out. I think Mother Nature might have already done that for me. There's also a cedar forest, but those ones are a bit more small, so I'm hoping they fared better. Now the part I hate the most about wind damage is trees like this, where it got uprooted. It's not stable anymore, but it's hung up in another tree. There's a couple of those around, so we're gonna have to find a way to securely bring them down, because they're at risk of falling if there's another strong wind, or if the branches finally break, which makes them very unsecure and not very safe. Not sure if those are the ones you call widowmakers, but same idea. Basically, branches that could fall at any moment. Stuff that's hung up in other trees. And in this part of Ontario right now, it's black fly season. And let me tell you, they're hungry. All right, let's find some more damage here. So these are the types of trees I was talking about. So that's an aspen that broke near the base, and it's hung up on trees right across the trail, making for a dangerous obstacle in case something gives or breaks. There's another white pine in the background there that lots the top of its head. So I've ordered a skidding winch for the tractor. Take these guys out to make it safe once again. So here's the cedar forest. Let's go see what kind of damage has happened here. A lot of trees got pushed. Ooh. There's a big cedar that fell. It's unfortunate, such a nice tree. Well, hopefully nothing will go to waste. I'll be able to use this to build some stuff for the outdoors. Seems like the center had been attacked a bit already by bugs. But hopefully we'll be able to reuse this, as cedar is very naturally rot resistant, which is awesome. It's very interesting how, depending on the location, and I'm guessing soil type and soil acidity, what kind of trees grow, what kind of plants. So this section is almost all cedar. Big tree got uprooted here. Wow. This looks like more of an aspen, not a cedar. A couple of cedars there got uprooted, so those will have to come down. There's also a white pine there that lost the top of its head. Wow, crazy. Another white pine here that will have to be taken down. Broke into two places. Just carnage in here. It's so unfortunate. These were beautiful trees. Hopefully we'll be able to salvage most of the timber and not let it go to waste. Well, this used to be the trail. You can see a white pine there. That is no more. It's very unfortunate. I don't like the chances. There were a couple very funky and fun white pines that we gave nicknames to. Hopefully most of them are okay. So this is Weird Al the white pine. This is one funky tree. Looks like we're gonna be lucky. I don't think Weird Al suffered too much damage, thankfully. Luckily, just very minor damage. Now we're getting to the white pine section of the forest. I was gonna say, here's a good example. This is a young white pine, and you can see it was growing, and then at some point it was attacked by some bugs here. And you can see that the main trunk switched to another one. So there's a branch off. So this is where it's gonna split into multiple versus its brother next to it. That's nice and straight because that hasn't been attacked yet. So this is going to dictate if the tree is going to be nice and straight, or it's going to look all crazy like Weird Al, which makes for a very beautiful tree, but unfortunately makes it a lot weaker and less resistant to strong winds, because there's more points of failure. And here we're approaching our favorite part of the forest for me and my wife, and I can see tons of damages already. There's a little, this makes me very sad. These trees are beautiful. Oh my God. There used to be no sun here because there were so many tall, beautiful trees. Look at the power and destruction. Oh, it breaks my heart. These trees were all well over 100 feet in height. And now they're leaning, half uprooted, or completely destroyed. Oh, it's gonna take ages. I don't even know where my path was anymore. Oh my God. Well, it's gonna require a lot of work, that's for sure. Wow, this is crazy. I'm also gonna include some drone footage. Oh my God. It's hard to describe. If you look at the forest floor, there's almost nothing growing here because there were so many big, thick white pines covering up the sun. But I mean, in a way, this is good for the forest because the forest floor is going to have sunlight again, and different types of trees and vegetation is going to grow. But it's just so sad. The damage over here, wow. Half of the trees leaning, half broken down. Some are completely uprooted. Well, we're gonna have our work cut out for us. It's very unfortunate because I was going to come and thin it down, but some of that lumber I was hoping to keep. Thankfully some of the big trees survived, but some of them were just completely destroyed. Oh my God. That Mother Nature. Scary. Here's a good example. That one's completely uprooted. And it's just stuck on that stump leftover. So taking this thing down safely, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Hopefully we can salvage some of this timber. Oh my God. I think that's a couple maples got destroyed, unfortunately. And the carnage. That's a red maple that was taken down, completely uprooted. That one too. These are sizable trees. They are not small trees. That's crazy. You can see that the roots don't go that deep because of the type of soil. I don't think there's a lot of trees that escape with no damage. Well, I don't even know where my path goes anymore. It's funny how the trees, some of them are completely fine. And then other ones were completely uprooted. It's the first time I walk the trails since the storm. Just seeing the damages near the house, I was expecting it to be bad, but to be honest, not this bad. Wow, this thing just toppled over. That one's missing half of it. Oh, I stand corrected. This was Big Bertha. As you can see, Big Bertha did not escape untouched. Oh, it's crazy. Oh, half of Big Bertha is missing. And sometimes some of the trees, as they're going down, took down other trees with them. And more of these half uprooted, hanging, leaning. And like I said, I'm not even sure what my walking trails are anymore. Well guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, this was the first time for me walking around the whole property, or at least almost all of the property. I had no idea what kind of damage it was. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad. Like I said, 90% of our nice big white pines have suffered some kind of damage, which is very unfortunate. Luckily, not too many maple trees got damaged, so we can still have some of our maple sugar production, which is nice. But we're gonna have months and months of work ahead of us, and we might have to reshuffle some priorities around the homestead to try and take care of that, because we want to be able to enjoy a nice property, and of course I want to make sure that it's safe for the family and everybody to walk the trails, and especially for even wildlife and the dog. So once again, stick around, come back again, give us a thumbs up if you like this. We're gonna have more content, more stuff to clean up, and I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching.